Hello, and welcome to Four Little Bears. I should say welcome back. I know it's been quite a while. Sorry about that. Hopefully, you guys will forgive me with a Mega Stash Buster 2. So, I've made a new Mega Stash Buster. It is 30 cards made with 5 sheets of 12 by 12 double sided paper. I'll kind of go through a little bit from the front. And again, all of this is going to be posted in the description below. There will be a link to a downloadable printable that you can print out for your cutting guide and for a template. So for this one, we're going to make 30 cards total. There will be 22 A2 cards, 4 straight easel cards, and 4 angled easel cards. You can find the instructions on how to make those on page 5. Again, this one has a cool template along with it, so you'll print and cut the bow template from page 6. As you cut the paper, place it into envelopes or stacks, whichever works best for you. And the only other thing to think about is the stoppers on cards 4 and 6. I'll show you a couple examples of what you can do there. I'd love to see what you created, and I hope you love this. Leave a comment down below. Hopefully you love it, and we'll try it yourself. So we'll start off with designer paper 1, and I'll show you how I go ahead and cut that. I've got this set at 2 times speed, so it's a little fast. Go ahead and slow it down if you need to. Hopefully the pages will be self-explanatory. I'll go ahead and cut this down to 12 by 12 to start with. And then as always, look for the little green line. That's going to tell you where your first cut can be. And as you get some of the cuts done, all you need to do then is put them in your little envelopes or plastic bags. I'm using repurposed plastic bags from other things. I believe some of these came from ephemera packets, so on and so forth. On my angled cuts, I'm going to go ahead and line those up 2 at a time because my trimmer will cut 2 at a time. If yours doesn't, don't worry about it. Not a big deal. Just make sure that your angles are going from the bottom corner to the top corner. It should be going from the bottom left to the top right corner. Same thing with the little stoppers here. Bottom left to top right. So on these tri-angled cuts that are, or triple angled cuts, I should say, that are on designer paper 3, 4, and 5, I'm just going to set these aside until I have a full set of paper 3, 4, and 5 so that I can cut them 3 at a time. Obviously, if your paper trimmer won't do that, try to measure it out and do the best you can. There is going to be a little bit of wiggle room here, so you should be okay. But if your trimmer will handle 3 sheets at once, I recommend setting these to the side and then just go ahead and cut a full set at the same time. That way you know that it's going to match up like a perfect puzzle. And again, I'm going to set aside all of the pieces that are going to go to my little bows. So I'll set aside the little strips that are 1/4 by 3/4 on page 4 or designer paper 3 and 4. And then I'll also set aside the pieces that are labeled for bow template. That way I kind of know which one's which, and I'll just set them aside to make my bows with as soon as I'm done cutting everything else. now that I have all 3 of the triple triangle pieces cut, actually 6, so 2 sets. That's why you have 6 cards on this one, because I had to make it even. So you've got, go ahead and line up 1 piece of designer paper 3, 1 piece of designer paper 4, and 1 of designer paper 5. You'll end up with 2 stacks. And then go ahead and make those cuts. That way you can get all those cuts perfectly correct. Again, if your trimmer doesn't do this, go ahead and just fold it in half on the long side to kind of get a mark for where you're going to cut all your pieces, and that should help you out a little bit. For your bow template, you want to print out page 6 and cut out one of the bow template shapes. Go ahead and fold that in half and lay it on top of your designer paper, also folded in half, and go ahead and trim that out. Then to make your bow, I use a pencil. You can use a bone folder here, anything kind of to break the fibers down on that curve of the bow. And then just put a little glue in the center and glue your bow pieces over. Then you'll take one of the small strips and put around the center as your knot. Once those are all done, I'll just set them all aside. Now that all the cutting's done, it's time to put them all together. Hopefully I can run through them all really quickly on here. I try to make it to where you don't need many matting layers, but obviously if you want them, add them, the more the merrier. As far as the sentiments go, on this set, I'm going to be using ephemera and pieces from Echo Park. Obviously, you can make your own sentiments. I'll show you another video later this week that has homemade sentiments from stamp sets and things of that nature. For card number 4, we need to modify our card bases a little bit. So if you haven't already made the card bases or the angled easel card, we can go ahead and make that now. Now what I do to make mine easier is I line up my bone folder in the 3.5 just because it's kind of in the middle of my trimmer. So I line it up at my 3.5 mark and I pull it down. Then I hold it there, and then I pull my card base to where the point is at 3.5 and the fold is at 3.5 down towards myself where the bone folder is, and line that all up. And then once that's all lined up, I can do my angle score nice and perfect. Obviously, you can do this without a scoreboard. Also, you can just fold it in half. It does save the paper from cracking, though, if you do this method where you actually score it a little bit. So there's lots of things you can do for the stoppers. In this case, I gave you a triangular piece that perfectly fits inside of the card and will stop the easel part so that it can stand up. So especially if you have thick enough paper that you can layer this at least once, if not 2 times, that should be perfectly thick enough to use that triangle piece as your actual stopper. But you can also use ephemera, you can use your sentiment and pop that up on foam tape. Also, I'll use some ephemera that is chipboard ephemera that is plenty thick enough to stop your little easel and be your little stopper. For your toppers on these easel cards, just remember to only put glue on the side that is on the bottom. You don't want it on any of that top half. So I just use my thumb to kind of determine where that glue should be so that I get it only where it needs to be and it doesn't fold funny. Next up is the straight easel card. This is one of the easiest card folds. All you're going to do is take a regular card base and fold the front in half in towards the center. So basically you're going to have a mountain fold in toward the center, and that'll be your easel. It's one of the easiest folds you can do. So the stopper piece is the same deal as the last easel card. You can use the little rectangular piece that is in your designer paper. You can use a piece of ephemera on foam tape, a couple double layer sentiments, whatever you'd like. And remember, when you glue on your topper, remember, please only put glue on the bottom, otherwise it won't fold right. All done, and these are all the little scraps that are left over. Not much left at all. I would say probably only one of these pieces I'm going to keep. The rest I feel okay about throwing away. They're not too big at all. Well, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Hopefully, you make your own and make it your own. I would love to see what you do. Comment down below. Let me know how you like it. Let me know if there's anything I can improve on. I would love to hear from you. Thanks. Y'all have a great week now. Stay safe and stay blessed.